Speaking of large players, there's a new competitor coming for you, Reliance with Jio Finance. That's not a small player. It ends up disrupting any sector it enters. How worried are you about that?
We have to be. I mean, any new player, especially a player of that nature, announces plans to look at this business seriously and come after it. And, you know, it just doesn't act just as a finance company. They have other businesses you can feed into there, and that's why they're doing it, into the finance business. But let's understand and appreciate that it's a large market, and everyone can play in that market. The reason you will win is because you're ensuring that you are attacking the right customer, looking at... Let me step back. There are two simple parts of this equation. One is that what am I doing as an institution to ensure that when a customer thinks of, he has a need or she has a need of any kind, in their subconscious mind, you have worked with that customer or done things with that customer so that when they're looking for solving that need, they think of you as a name they want to consider. So there is a huge amount of work that is required to ensure that the customer thinks of you. Now, in case of Reliance, for example, what we have seen is that they play this game of market share and the price points at which they come and attack. Somewhere in the minds of the customer, they'll say, okay, let me think of Reliance. Because maybe they're playing at their price point. So that's one part of the journey. And I'm simplifying it, don't get me wrong. Second part of the journey is when the customer actually comes to you, what is the experience you're providing to the customer so that they say, I've had a great experience with the customer. And let me give you a very stark example. For, our mobile app today is rated 4.8 on Google Play Store. It's the highest rated app in the world today. Great. Citibank is rated, because we're acquiring that business, 4.4. But if you go and ask the Citibank customers, they've not experienced Access, and they think Citibank app is a great app, which it is. 4.4 is not a bad rating. But we are better. So unless the customers experience you, the value of you getting rated at 4.8 in a mobile app is only that much. Because people are not willing to experience you. So first part you have to get it right, the second part you have to get it right. Now the second part is also not simple. Because when the customer comes to you, if I understand Udayan, I've underwritten Udayan, and I understand what they will be looking for. If I can surface an experience which is delight, in 3 clicks you're out, because you've got exactly what you wanted. And if I can continue that experience across our customers, I can win that journey. Reliance has to do a lot of work to win that journey.
It sounds like a challenge, Amitabh.
It's a huge challenge. It is, because all of us are doing it, the kind of things you have to put in place to get the first part and the second part right cannot be underestimated. I'm just very gently saying that it's not as simple as it looks.
Come on, play the game and prove it first.
Yes, absolutely. And they are, the player all of us need to worry about. But that game is not easy, is all I'm saying.
What are the chances that next year Gautam Adani follows? Usually the two come together, right?
Everyone initially starts with a super app. Tatas have one. Reliance did talk about one. I think the Adanis have launched a super app. So I think it's the first step in that journey. It's not going to stop at a super app, right? If it is a super app, then you will keep adding services to that super app, and financial services is a natural service or extension of what you'll do. So frankly, and by the way, they already, I think, have an NBFC. It will happen at some stage. And so we have to be prepared for everyone trying that. You look at every large business group in India. They have a presence in the financial services space in some form or shape. So yes, we have to compete with them also. It's a matter of time.
Let me ask you a different question. We spoke a lot about the credit cycle. Where is the money for all this lending going to come from? Because, 17-18% is your credit growth. Your liability growth, deposit growth is 9%. At some point, the two have to converge, right? Otherwise, where is the lending money coming from? Does that worry you?
Oh, it is a worry. And frankly, if the deposit growth does not pick up, let's be very honest here, the credit growth will be a subset of deposit growth. It can't be even at the same level. Because some of the money you have to park and put it in SLR CRR. So, unless this is solved in some form or shape, ultimately the credit growth in the system will slow down. And that's why I said, already at least we are projecting internally, our economist is projecting, I think he's here in some of the sessions, that the credit growth will come down to about 12 to 13% unless something happens on the deposit side. I think RBI is quite clear that they have certain things to do and they are following a certain path and they will continue to stick to that path. I don't expect that to change. So I'm not expecting any major impetus to come on the deposit side. So in that sense, that is one of the worries we also have, that if deposit growth does not come back, then this credit growth will get impacted, because you can't rely on external borrowings to fund that deposit growth. And by the way, even if you were to rely on it, the regulator will come down very heavily on you very quickly, saying that this is not the way to grow.